How's it going, guys? It's K-Cars, and this video is going to be a continuation of the previous video where I was removing some rust from my Jeep Cherokee XJ, and this is a 2001. So let me actually hop out and show you guys what I've done. In the previous video, if you guys remember, we were working on this lower door jamb section of the passenger rear door, and it's the next day, and I think it turned out all right. It's definitely not perfect. You can kind of see like I was pointing out in the previous video, you can see the borders of where the new paint is and where the original paint is, especially like right over here, then right here a little bit too. And the worst part, I think, is just right over here where you can kind of like still see the primer a little bit, and then down below you can see those dots right there. I'm not sure why it's like that, but I mean, nobody's ever going to be looking under there, so I don't really think it matters too much. So today, after I let it dry overnight, I kind of just taped off this section right here and went ahead and used some more spray paint to kind of try to cover up this little white line. So basically what I did is I used some masking tape right over here, and I'm just using this like green masking tape here. So I masked off this plastic part right over here. I also used like a piece of paper just to shield it even more, just like that. And then just like went ahead and sprayed some more spray paint over the border here so it would be less visible, because at first it was white. Like right over here you can still see the primer a little bit, so, and going over the whole line you still can see it a little bit, but it's just not as visible. I might just go over these little spots right here with touch-up paint just because I'm so OCD about it, but I don't think it's really that big of a deal. I might try to like get rid of this paint that got on the plastic part right here too. And then also another thing you want to be careful about is overspray on the plastic parts. So like right over here, I did get some paint on there, as well as a little bit over here. It's not too terrible, but definitely something that I could have been more careful about. So anyways, just wanted to show you guys how it turned out. And then like I said, this will be a continuation of the previous video. So if you guys didn't watch that video, make sure to check that video out first. But anyways, in that video I was talking about like wanting to take off this little plastic piece so I could do the whole door jamb. The only problem is that these screws were just so rusted and the heads were pretty much just not even there. So I sprayed them with WD-40, just this stuff right over here, and I let it sit overnight. And I also used this little like pick thing. I'm not really sure what it is, but I like scraped around the screw just to get any like excess rust off of there, just to hopefully clear it out and make it a little bit easier for it to actually screw out. So I did that again today, sprayed some more WD-40 on there and picked at it a little bit more. And I also tried to carve out like the actual head so you could see, so I could actually like get a screwdriver in there. And what I found out is that a flathead actually worked better for it, just because it's a little bit wider, so I could like kind of like get more traction on the screw, I guess. So I just had to use a lot of force, and eventually they did start to unscrew. Also, another thing I did is I put the WD-40 like underneath here on the underside, so I was able to get this one out first. So this one came out, you can see the head, it's pretty much not really there, so that was the hard part. And then once I got this one out, I was able to kind of just wiggle it around, get this one a little bit more loose, and then of course it came out too. So got the plastic part off, and this thing was really dirty like whenever I first took it off. I did want to take it off just so I could clean up all the rust underneath of it. As you can see, there is a good bit of rust right there and pretty much all around. So that's what we're going to be taking care of today. So the first thing we're going to have to do obviously is get rid of this rust right here. So luckily this is just surface rust, it's nothing too bad. So as you see right there, I did already try to do a little bit of rust removal right here, but this part right here is a little bit deeper than I thought. So we're going to be using the good old Dremel tool right here. Now it definitely is possible to just do all of this with regular sandpaper. If you are just using sandpaper, then make sure you get a coarse sandpaper maybe around 60 or 80 grit, because if you get like fine sandpaper, then it's going to take forever. If you have a Dremel tool like this, then this will be a lot easier and it'll save you a lot of time as well. Just to start off, I'm going to be using this sandpaper bit right here. It is pretty worn out, so I'm not sure how long it's going to last me, but I'm going to use this for the flat parts, like this part right over here, and pretty much I guess I'm going to use this on everything, but it is better on flat parts just because it is pretty wide. And then once I get rid of all the flat parts, like all the rust on the flat parts, I'm going to switch to this bit right here just to get in more of like the cracks and stuff and do like a more detailed job, I guess. Alright guys, so I skipped ahead a little bit. I sanded down all the rust, as you can see. I have already started masking off the area that I'm going to be painting. I'm going to continue masking off this area, just making sure that I don't make the same mistake that I made last time of accidentally painting some of the interior and some of the plastic pieces here, because I definitely don't want to do that anymore. And the next step after that is going to be applying the primer. Alright, so I got it all masked off. As you see, I did a little bit of a better job this time, just to make sure I don't get any overspray. But right now we're going to go ahead and wipe this area down with rubbing alcohol, just to make sure it's as clean as we can get it before we apply the primer. Alright guys, so now we're ready to go ahead and apply the primer. Like I said, this is Rust-Oleum Rusty Metal Primer. So, as I said in the previous video, you want to do light coats at first. You want to do many light coats, so you don't want to just spray the whole thing all at once. And you want to keep the can in motion while you're spraying, just so you don't get too much in one spot. And also it's pretty difficult to get like all the way down in there, like where there's not much room. So that's probably where I'm going to be seeing some like dripping, because I'm going to have to get like really close to it. So that's usually what causes dripping, either that or using too much. I'm going to go ahead and let this dry, probably about 45 minutes to an hour, and then we can apply the paint. Alright guys, so it's been about an hour and we are ready to go ahead and spray on the paint. So this is Duplicolor, perfect match. This is Patriot Blue. The paint code for this is PBT. Usually you can find your paint code on the door jamb here on the driver's side. So if you look right over here, it says PNT, PBT. So paint Patriot Blue, that's what that means. That's why I chose to get Duplicolor, because it duplicates the original Chrysler colors. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and apply this over the primer right now. We're gonna be applying this the same way as we applied the primer. So just a few light coats. You don't want to apply too much and you don't want to hold it too close, or else you will get drips, like I did whenever I did the bottom of this door right here. We got a few light coats on here. Now we're going to let it dry up and then put a few more coats on there. I waited about 5 minutes in between each coat. So I sprayed it a few times, waited 5 minutes, sprayed it a few times, waited 5 minutes. I probably did that about 4 or 5 times, and I think it looks pretty good. I think I did a lot better job than I did on the lower door jamb right here, just because it's a little bit easier to access and it's not like upside down like this is. The next thing we're going to do after this is apply the clear coat after waiting about 45 minutes to an hour for the paint to dry. Alrighty guys, so it's been about 45 minutes since I applied the paints, and now we're ready for the clear coat. I'm going to be using the Duplicolor Protective Clear Coat finish. So same way as the primer and paint, we're just going to do a few light coats. And yeah, we're going to wait for it to dry then, and then pull off all the masking and see what it looks like. Alright guys, so it's been about 45 minutes since I sprayed the clear coat on here. I'm going to go ahead and remove all this masking tape. I probably will have those borders that I told you guys about in between the old paint and the new paint. Now I might just like spray paint over that once I take all the masking tape off. But then again, I don't want to get overspray on parts that I don't want painted. So I might just get some touch-up paint and just paint over the lines. But we'll see how it goes. But I'm not going to record this part because it's already dark, as you guys can see. So anyways, hope this helped you guys, and hope Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to check out my Jeep Cherokee XJ playlist for more Jeep videos if you guys want to see those. So I also wanted to mention that these are the screws I'm going to be replacing those rusty screws that were holding this plastic piece in. So I think it's going to look a whole lot better with these. So guys, that's going to be it for this week's video. It can be done with sandpaper, like I said, but if you have a Dremel tool with a sanding bit, then it will be a lot easier and it'll just take a lot less time. But if you guys want to see more Jeep videos, definitely head over to my channel and go to my Jeep Cherokee XJ playlist. That's where I have all of my Jeep maintenance, repairs, tutorials, and everything like that. And if you guys have any video suggestions for videos you'd like to see in the future, definitely drop those down in the comments, as well as any questions that you guys might have. And if you guys found this video entertaining or informative, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.